Number to call is 270-9933. Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company is standing by. Hi, Lisa.
Hi there, guys. How are you?
Good. Trying to stay warm.
Good. Yeah, good to see you. Let's get right to the phones, and we'll start with Diane in Madison. Hi, Diane. What's your question?
My question is, I have these little bugs flying around my house that I'm sure came from plants that I brought in from outside this fall. Is there any way to get rid of those?
Well, it depends on what it is. You can certainly, if it's just flying around and not really damaging your plants, it sounds like it's probably fungus gnats. So fungus gnats are a little insect that lives in the soil as it's decomposing, and they really don't cause any damage. You can put some sharp sand on the tops of your pots. You can use a sticky trap. That's really effective. It'll lure them and they stick to it. But you might want to put in a systemic insecticide made for houseplants. Bayer makes one that's a little capsule. Depending on the size of your pot, you just kind of push them down into the soil, and as you water, the insecticide is released. So that becomes part of the plant. And if the insects are feeding on the plant, that should take care of them.
All right. Let's go to Allie. Hi, Allie. What's your question?
I have a hibiscus plant, and one of the flowers created a seed pod this summer, and I saved the seeds, and I would like to know how to go about trying to grow one myself.
Okay, well, I will say that it will be a surprise as to what you get, because you've got that whole cross-pollination thing. You don't know which were both of the parents, but it sounds like a fun thing to do. I would certainly make sure that you get seed starting mix, or it's often called germinating mix, and you can start in like a jiffy pot, or a little, maybe like a 2-inch plastic pot with the growing mix in there. Hibiscus like heat, so I'm going to say to get it started, you're going to want to put it in a warm place. And then once the plant is up, it's going to need plenty of light.
So it's possible.
Okay.
Yes, if the seed was properly cured, it'll grow. We don't know what it will grow.
Okay.
That's half the surprise.
Hopefully it's not the plant from Little House of Horrors. Little Shop of Horrors. Below zero maybe coming up in a couple of nights. Is this dangerous for the plants?
Most of the plants that we have in our gardens are pretty acclimated to this kind of temperature. But if you have things that are broadleaf evergreens like holly or rhododendron, or maybe some other kinds of needly evergreens that you're a little worried about, you can get a product called Wilt Proof. It's sort of a waxy, naturally occurring spray that you spray right on the foliage, and that will help keep them from transpiring all the moisture that's in the leaves. Otherwise, put up a little windscreen. The good news is that things that are close to the ground, like perennials and bulbs, will be really well insulated under the lovely blanket of snow that we have.
All right. We have a call, but I don't know who it is because it hasn't been cleared.
It's a surprise.
Do you have a question for Lisa? I don't know who's on the line, so it's hard to really...
It's Marie.
Okay, Marie, what's your question?
Well, this is related to the first question she answered. I have all kinds of plants that got some kind of disease inside, but I moved all the plants and soil and everything outside, and there's nothing growing inside, but the bugs are still here, and they bite.
Oh.
I have a rash all over my body.
Oh, that doesn't sound good. Can you actually capture some of the bugs and bring them into the garden center? We could take a look at them. Or if you can get a photo, you can email it to plantdesk@brucecompany.com. And if we can ID it for you, then we can, without the plants being in the house, it's kind of hard to treat the insects. But let's first figure out what they are.
Okay. Is this Della?
Yes.
What's your question?
I have a question about my Christmas cactus. I've had it for about 5 years, and it's only bloomed once, and I can't get it to bloom anymore.
So it might need an up-potting, not necessarily a repotting, but maybe a slightly larger pot. You don't want to disturb the root ball too much. It's a little early to do that, though, so you're going to want to wait until maybe end of February to do that. The other thing about Christmas cactus is they like a little bit of cool weather to stimulate the flower bud production, and you want to have them in a room that is dark when it's dark outside. So you want them in a spare bedroom, or you want them in a space that is not where you're living at night during the wintertime or during the fall. That shortening day length is really what's going to trigger that flower bud production.
All right.
So what, do I use any special soil?
When you just a cactus soil, they're cactus in the cactus family, so just use a cactus soil.
All right. We are out of time. Thank you all for calling in. Lisa, thank you for your time.
You're welcome,
Thanks,
guys.
Lisa.
We'll see you soon. We'll have a final check of the forecast coming up.